Hello students, welcome to the discussion of history questions of Anubhav. So today you might have given the Anubhav test. Okay, it was hope this series of tests that we have conducted helped you in tracking the progress of your preparation. Okay, and this was the last Anubhav test, Anubhav 4. Next full test probably will be your UPSC. So best of luck for that. Okay, so we come back to today's discussion. Today we'll be taking, in this video we'll be discussing the history questions. Okay, we have 15 questions of history. Okay, the modus operandi of this particular video will be like first we'll see the question, discuss the correct option, like which one is the correct option, and then we'll also see what we can learn from the other options. Okay, and then if there's some other value addition to be added with that theme or topic, we'll also discuss that. Okay, so that's how this video will go. So let's start. The first question is about Rana Sanga. Okay, there has been a recent controversy, you would say, regarding his contribution of what he has done. Okay, so we see first we see the question. Rana Sanga was a 16th century ruler of Mewar. Yes, this is correct. His tenure rule was between 1508 to 1528. So he was 16th century ruler. This statement is correct. Next, we have Rana Sanga erected Kirti Stambh, okay, in Chittorgarh to commemorate his victory over Babur in the Battle of Khanwa. Battle of Khanwa took place in the year 1527. Okay, and this statement is not correct because in that battle Babur came on top. Rana Sanga was defeated in that battle. We'll see about the history of that battle. Okay, this statement is not correct. Next we have famous Bhakti saint Mirabai was a contemporary of Rana Sanga. This statement is correct because Mirabai was married to Bhojraj, who was the eldest son of Rana Sanga. Okay, so they were contemporaries. Okay, so coming to the Battle of Khanwa. So what happened was that after Battle of Panipat in 1526, Battle of Panipat in 1526, Rana Sanga was one of the most respected and powerful leaders of that time, rulers of that time. So he did not like a particular foreign invader, foreign king ruling so close. Okay, so he gathered all his friends, all his allies, and mustered a force of around 100,000 people and marched on Delhi. Okay, they met at Khanwa. Okay, it is said that this battle was more consequential and more important for Babur than Battle of Panipat because the Lodi forces were not very strong, which Babur had defeated in 1526. And had Babur lost this particular battle, all his achievements would have washed down the drain. This is a similar situation like there was Battle of Plassey and then there was Battle of Buxar. Battle of Plassey was the easier one of the two, and had the British lost the Battle of Buxar, all their gains of Plassey would have washed down the gutter. So this was a similar situation, and luckily Babur won. Okay, and after this he could establish his rule very authoritatively. Okay, so it is said that even Babur recognized this threat because in his own memoir Babur Nama, okay, he mentioned Rana Sanga as one of the very formidable kings. Okay, so it is said that before that battle he announced that, okay, I will become a true Muslim, I will leave behind all the evils like drinking and gambling, everything, if I won this battle. So it shows how important this battle was for Babur. Okay, so this is all about Rana Sanga. So in this statement 1 and 3 are correct, so the option is B. Next we have, which Mughal prince is attributed with translating the Upanishads from Sanskrit into Persian language? Okay, the answer to this particular question is Dara Shikoh. So a little about him. He was the crown prince, eldest and the favorite prince of Shah Jahan. Okay, and he was also favorite because he was more like Akbar in his temperament. He was more liberal, okay, he was more inquisitive, okay, he wanted to explore other religions and philosophies and ideas, okay. That's why he also ordered the translation of Upanishad, so that he could learn more about them, okay. And this information, this knowledge which is in Upanishad could be expanded and shared, okay. And because of his liberal approach, the Aurangzeb and more orthodox people, nobles, okay, the Irani Turani nobles were not in his favor, okay. And he, on the other hand, had very good relations with the Hindu kings, Hindu princes, and also the Sikhs. The seventh Sikh Guru was a friend of Dada Shikoh, okay. But what happened was that as Shah Jahan fell very ill, his sons rose up to fight against each other for the throne, and in that tussle, in that struggle, Aurangzeb came on top because he was a better general. Dada Shikoh was a great intellectual, but he was not as able a general. He was not attractive a personality to gather major support of the nobles. Okay, as Aurangzeb had the support of more nobles, okay, he was able to muster a bigger army and was able to defeat Dada Shikoh. Okay, so that was the story of Dada Shikoh. It is seen, it has been said that had that struggle had a different outcome, okay, the Mughal Empire would have had a different outcome, because Dada Shikoh was more liberal, like Akbar in that sense, and the two main things that Aurangzeb did, which crumbled the empire, was their religious policy. Okay, he got very orthodox and very anti-Hindu at that time. Okay, and his Rajput policy. He did not like the Rajputs and started to poach them further from the capital. Okay, these two policies would not have been taken by Dada Shikoh because he was more liberal and was in close friends with Rajputs. Okay, so it is said that had because the Mughal Empire's collapse started from Aurangzeb's rule. Aurangzeb sat on the most powerful empire of his time. Okay, and by the end, like Aurangzeb was between 1656 to 1707. Okay, he sat on the most powerful empire of that time, and by his end, it was starting to crumble. Okay, and later Mughals, okay, could not save it. So it is said that had Dada Shikoh been the successor of Shah Jahan, there might have been a different outcome. Okay. So next we talk about other options. Okay, Aurangzeb is definitely not the option here because he would not translate. Okay, he even undid a lot of things, like he painted the walls of Akbar's tomb white, which was decorated with a lot of beautiful paintings. Okay, then we, we have Abdul Rahim Khane Khana. Okay, he was the brother of Akbar. Okay, what happened? The story says that he was appointed as a governor. Okay, and then he was sent to the Afghanistan, the western frontier, to curb a rebellion. Okay, he went there, curbed the rebellion, but stayed there. So the thing is, he was, as we say, he was like Aurangzeb in that way. Okay, he did not like the liberal ways of Akbar. Okay, and he thought Akbar was destroying the empire by becoming very liberal. Okay, so he became the challenger to Akbar. Okay, but later Akbar was able to defeat him. Okay, and later reconciled with him. Okay, and next we have Mirza Hakim. Next we have Mirza Hakim. Mirza Hakim was a brother of Akbar. It is said that he was sent to western frontier to curb a rebellion. He went there, curbed the rebellion, but there he stood there and started a mustering of force. So what happened was that he was not in agreement with the ideas of Akbar. Like, he was in that sense more like Aurangzeb. Okay, wherein he thought that Akbar's very liberal policies would destroy the empire. So he mustered a force there and challenged Akbar. Akbar came on top. Okay, and was able to defeat him. Next we have Abdul Rahim Khane Khana. Okay, he was one of the 9 jewels of Akbar. Okay, Akbar had in the 9 jewels in his court. Okay, Birbal and Tansen were others. Okay, so what happened was that he was the son of Bairam Khan. If you know, Bairam Khan was the in charge of the empire when before Akbar reached adulthood. Okay, like after the death of Humayun. Okay, Akbar was a young prince. Okay, so that empire was run by Bairam Khan as his regent and governor. This Akbar Abdul Rahim Khane Khana was his son. Okay, and Bairam Abdul Rahim was also one of the leaders, military leaders who helped Mansingh in his challenge against Maharana Pratap. Okay, in the battle of Haldi Ghati. Okay, so these were the four options, and here the option is B, Dara Shikho. Next we have, which of the following statements is not correct? Okay, we have to see which one is not correct with respect to the cultural history of India. Okay, so we here have a few slogans, mostly Sanskrit phrases. We have to see which one is correct here. Okay, first is tagline of G20 summit held in India, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, has been taken from Maha Upanishad. Yes, this statement is correct. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means world is one family. World is one family. Okay, so this idea has been the central to Indian identity, how India has led the subcontinent. Okay, like we don't discriminate among people. In India is a very diverse, okay, socially, culturally, religiously very diverse. Okay, India is home to 8 religions of the world. Okay, and out of that 4 were originated from here. Okay, so Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism. Okay, out of the 8 major religions of the world, 4 have originated here, and all 8 can be seen in India. So that is how we can expound the idea. We can say that yes, we follow this ideal because the world is here. We have all kinds of diversity. In India, of states have more diversity than say many countries in Europe. Okay. Next, Supreme Court of India's motto, Yato Dharmo Tato Jaya. Okay, the Supreme Court's motto has been taken from Athreya Upanishad. This statement is not correct. Okay, this statement, Yato Dharma Tato Jaya, means where there is dharma, there is victory. This is taken from Mahabharata. Okay. It is also the central theme of Mahabharata, because what Mahabharata says, you must follow your dharma, whatever the outcomes be. Okay, you just follow what your dharma is. Like in Mahabharata, it was Arjun's dharma to fight his own brothers. So he followed his dharma. Okay, so the Supreme Court motto is right, but the source is wrong. Okay, next, if we have identified the wrong answer, we know the next 2 will be correct. What's that? The national motto of India, Satyamev Jayate, has been taken from Mundak Upanishad. Yes, this is correct. Under our emblem, the 4 lions, we have written Satyamev Jayate. Okay, this phrase is taken from Mundak Upanishad. This statement is correct. Next, Mahakavya Aham Brahmasmi has been taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay, Aham Brahmasmi says, I am Brahma. Okay, I am the Lord. Okay, I am the creator. It says I am God. Okay, so this idea has been expounded in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay, so the option here is B, because it was asking for not correct. A, C and D are correct. B is not correct. Next, we have, which of the following statements with respect to Bhoodan movement during modern India are correct? Okay, Bhoodan movement was a voluntary land reform movement started by Acharya Vinoba Bhave. Yes, this statement is correct. It was started in 1951. So if we know the year, we can find out the second statement. It coincided with the civil disobedience movement, okay, launched by the Indian National Congress. This statement is not correct because CDM timeline is 1930 to 34, and Bhoodan movement was in 51. Okay, it was launched from village Pochampalli of present day Telangana. This statement is also Correct. So the option here is B, 1 and 3. Let's see a little bit more about Bhoodan movement. Okay, Bhoodan movement by which Vinoda Acharya Bhave. Oh, sorry, Acharya Vinoda Bhave. Okay, he was a freedom fighter and political leader. He started this movement in 1951. It was based on Gandhian ideals. Okay, ideals of trusteeship. What Gandhian ideals said was that we are not owners of the property that we have. We are just trustees. Okay, and we have to use this to help others. So following this idea, Bhoodan movement was the idea wherein he asked landlords, smaller rulers, kings, maharajas, to donate lands to landless people so that social justice can happen. Okay, inequality can come down. Okay, that was the idea. And village Pochampalli of Telangana, it was started in Pochampalli because V. Ramchandra Reddy was the first landlord to donate land in this movement. It was 100 acres. Okay, it was started from here. So, which Vinoda Bhave traveled on foot to a lot of areas, almost the country, and urged the rulers there to donate lands. And on his insistence, a lot of people did donate. Okay. Later, it was also started. This movement changed to Gram Dan as well. Okay. Gram Dan. In this Gram Dan movement, what used to happen was that the idea was that you can donate land to a village council, and that village council would redistribute the land among people and see how it can be best used. Okay, this movement was very popular in the 50s, and later it lost steam in the 60s because of the lack of result. Like people who even donated say 100 acres of land, okay, did not see the land turnover effectively. Like it was not redistributed properly. Okay, and even if the land was distributed, it was not used very properly. Like if someone is a landless laborer, he has no capital to invest, he has no money, and he gets 1 acre of land, half an acre of land, how will we be able to bring that into cultivation? Okay, so it has a lot of issues, it had a lot of managerial problems. So it was an idea which was very good on paper, like someone who has a lot of land can donate lands, and someone who doesn't have land can take land and start cultivation. But there are a lot of other things required apart from land. Okay, like capital, we have forward linkages, backward linkages. So all of these things complicated it, and this movement lost steam in the 60s, and later it stopped. Okay, so that was about Bhoodan movement and Acharya Vinoda Bhave. Okay, one more nugget of information about him is that he was the first individual satyagraha. Individual satyagrahi. Okay, what happened was that in the year 1940, okay, India was against it. India was against the government had resigned in the protest of British joining the making India a part of war without consultation. Okay, we wanted to do something politically, but Gandhiji said it is not the right time to put political pressure on the British. So he said, we'll do satyagraha, but not on a large scale, but individual satyagraha, so that the idea is communicated with them. Like we are not happy, we can start some political agitation. So first one was Acharya Vinoda Bhave, second was Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so we come to the next question. The answer here is 1 and 3 is B. So next question asks about various women contributed to the drafting of the Indian Constitution by becoming members of the Constituent Assembly. Which among the following was not one of them? Okay, so before going through the options, let me tell you, there were 15 members, 15 women, 15 female members in the Constituent Assembly. Okay, I would suggest you to go through the name of them. You don't have to memorize all of them, like write down on a piece of paper and write, but you should know the names of them. Okay, it will help you eliminate some options. Okay, like here we'll see Sarojini Naidu, Suchita Kriplani, Lakshmi Sehgal, and Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. Okay, all are very distinguished, okay, female political personalities of that time. But in the year, like when we know in the Constituent Assembly, the day it was announced was 9th December 1946. So by that time, one of them was not free of her legal issues. Okay, that was Lakshmi Sehgal. What happened was that she was a prisoner of the British Empire at that time because she was captured after the Japanese surrender. Okay, like when the Japanese surrendered, INA also had to surrender with them, and she was taken prisoner. In 1946, she was moved from Burma to India. Okay, so she was still in prison by the time. She became politically active quite late. Okay, a few things about Lakshmi Sehgal, like she was born as Lakshmi Swaminathan. Okay, she was a doctor by training, and she was serving as a doctor in Singapore when she was influenced by the ideas of Subhash Chandra Bose, and he joined INA on influence of Subhash Chandra Bose, and later she was promoted to the title rank of captain. So she was Captain Lakshmi all her life. Okay, Lakshmi Swaminathan became Lakshmi Sehgal because she married Prem Sehgal. Prem Sehgal was one of the 3 prisoners of INA trial that we had seen in the last Anubhav discussion. Okay, so this was a little about Lakshmi Swaminathan. Achha, one more important thing, not I would say important, but trivia. Like she was sister to Mrinalini Swaminathan. Mrinalini Swaminathan was later known as Mrinalini Vikram Sarabhai. She married Vikram Sarabhai, the space scientist. Okay, so very distinguished family. Okay, so we'll see a few things about the other options as well. Okay, Sarojini Naidu. Okay, she is also called Nightingale of India. She is famous for helping found Women's India Association in 1917. Okay, and she was the first Indian woman to become president of INC in 1925. Okay, who was the first woman to become president of INC? If you know, you can put down in the comments. Okay, I'll tell you a solution after the end of this particular discussion. Okay, or after this question. Okay, who was the first woman to become president of Indian National Congress and when? Okay, next we have Sucheta Kriplani. Okay, she was very active in political circles, active and freedom fighter. She was the first female chief minister. Female chief minister in 1963 after independence. Okay, next we have Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. She was sister of Jawaharlal Nehru, and she has a distinction of being elected as the first women president of United Nations in the year 1953. UN or United Nations General Assembly. Okay, president. Okay, so all of them were highly distinguished and accomplished personalities. Okay, answer to this particular question is Annie Besant. Annie Besant was the first woman to be elected in the year 1917. Okay, so this is the question. Answer is C. Next we have, in the context of Indian history, which of the following is the most accurate description of Katyutsarga? Okay, a style of temple architecture developed during the reign of Hoysala rulers. Okay, this particular thing is they developed a variation or modification of Vesada style. Okay, Vesada style was properly developed by Chalukyas. Okay, it took shape under Chalukyas, and they were like an offshoot of Vesada style. Okay, next, a Vedic ritual of fire sacrifice performed to invoke rain and good harvest. Vedic ritual, the closest term we have here is Yagna, Yagna. Okay, it can be any ritual, can be called a yagi in Sanskrit. Okay, next, meditative posture in Jainism that symbolizes a state of indifference to the body. Yes, this statement is correct because we have a lot of statues in this particular posture. If this particular posture says indifference to the body, like they will keep sitting in meditative posture or standing or laying down, indifference to the body, like even if the body feels some pressure or pain, it won't matter, they will just be meditating away. Okay, so that is this position, like it is a position of uh, getting lost in meditation so much that you are disconnected from the body, you don't even feel pain in your body. Like someone is, say if is standing for a very long time, okay, their knees would start to get weak, their foot would start to pain. But if you are in this posture, in this meditative thing, you won't feel anything because your mind has dissociated itself from the body. Okay, so the answer here is C. Next, we have arrange the following dynasties of ancient India in correct chronological order of their coming into power. So UPSC has lately been asking these type of questions. Last year we had one. Okay, we had to arrange 4 dynasties according to their chronology, like which came first. Okay, these smaller dynasties are becoming relevant lately. Okay, because UPSC is starting starting to go into areas which are not very popular, which they have not gone into yet. Okay, like when they like the medieval time is dominated by the Delhi Sultanate and Mughals. Okay, but there are a lot many more empires, dynasty, smaller peripheral ones which you don't know about. So UPSC has started to go after that. Okay, and not just any dynasty. Okay, UPSC is focusing on dynasties which have a lot of contribution, not if politically but culturally. Okay, like we'll see in this option, even in Vakatakas and Chalukyas, we'll see. Okay, first is we'll just discuss the 4 options. Okay, and then see what is the order which follows. Okay, first is Matrakas. They're called Matrakas of Vallabhi. Okay, they ruled in Saurashtra and Gujarat region. Okay, the western region. Okay, Gujarat region in the 3rd to 5th century. Okay, they were precursor of Chalukyas. Okay, Chalukyas took over the area later. Okay, next we have the Vakatakas. Vakatakas were powerful in Deccan in around 4th 5th century. Okay, they are important because they were the patrons of Ajanta caves. Ajanta caves, which are very famous UNESCO World Heritage Sites as well. Okay, next we have the Ikshwakus. Okay, these were powerful in the south, like Andhra region. Andhra region. These were the successors of Satavahanas. Successors of Satavahana dynasty. Okay, like we know, Satavahanas were also powerful in deep south. Satavahanas. Okay, the time period will be around same, like 3rd to 6th. Okay, next we have Chalukyas. Okay, in Chalukyas, it's important that there were 3 Chalukyas. Okay, 3 independent kingdoms. Like they started from the same family, like someone took over other empire like that. Okay, so we have the Chalukyas of Badami. Okay, we have the Chalukyas of Vengi, or called Eastern Chalukyas, and then we have Chalukyas of Kalyani, or called Western Chalukyas. Okay, Chalukyas of Badami. Okay, we know him as the more mightiest king here was Pulkesin II. Okay, Pulkesin II was the one who had defeated Harsha. Okay, Chalukyas of Badami. Then we have Chalukyas of Vengi, or called Eastern Chalukyas, and then Chalukyas of Kalyani, called Western Chalukyas. Okay, all these were between 6th to 12th century. Okay, so we see what are the options here. Okay. 1 and 3 are quite close. Okay, so you might be confused between those, but to ease that, what we did was we made the option 4 as the last and only one. So if you know the timeline of Chalukyas, then you can figure everything out. So as 4 is in only one place, Chalukyas come last, so option here is B. Okay, so the sequence becomes 3: Ikshvakus, then Vakatakas, then Matrakas, and then Chalukyas. So this is the sequence. Next we come to IVC. Okay, it has been a very favorite topic of UPSC. They have gone into this quite often. Okay, so we'll see what it is talking about. Consider the following statements with respect to the script of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, IVC script was pictographic script having around 400 signs. Yes, this statement is correct. Okay, and how many artifacts have we found? Achha, there's a question later. Okay, yes, it is a pictographic script. Okay, and around 400 signs it has. Next, IVC script used is Bostrofedon style. Okay, we'll see what Bostrofedon is. Bostrofedon literally means as the oxen walks. Okay, like how does an ox till the field? Okay, like if this is a field, okay, how does he till the field? He goes from here to here and then comes back. Okay, like this is a pattern you say you will make if you don't pull your pen and keep on drawing. Okay, like first from left to right and then right to left, left to right, and right to left. Yes, there are scripts like that. Like we are mostly very familiar, very easily understand, because we write from left to right. Okay, English is written from left to right. Okay, but Arabic is written from right to left. Okay, so our idea, common idea of just writing in this way, okay, like writing in this way, is not a universal idea. Not everyone follows that. Okay, some follow this way, some follow this way, and some mix everything in it and say we'll write like this. Okay, this is the Bostrofedon. Bostrofedon is how the oxen walks, it tilts the field. So yes, there have been scripts written from left to right, and there have also been scripts found in Bostrofedon pattern. Okay, this statement is also correct. IVC script was first deciphered by Alexander Cunningham. Okay, this statement is not correct because this script hasn't been deciphered yet. Okay, and Alexander Cunningham, why we put his name here? He is known as the father of Indian archaeology. Okay, Archaeological Survey of India. He was the first director and served very long, around 2 decades. Okay, so he was popular. Okay, then we have IVC script has been found on seals, rims, and jars, and as well as jewelry. Yes, this statement is correct. It has been found on a lot of places. Overall, okay, there are around 4,000 artifacts. Artifacts in a way, 4,000 things where this script has been found. Okay, and we can use all of that to decipher it, what is happening there. Okay, so a little more information. The first site to be discovered was Harappa in 1921 by Daya Ram Sahni. Okay, and next site was discovered was Mohenjo-daro in 1922 by Rakhal Das Banerjee. Okay, we know that because these two things are given in NCERT. Okay, and in the year, like these two were discovered as independent sites, individual sites, like this has come up, this has come up. But when the further research study was done into the scale and the nature of these sites, okay, it was found that it might be part of a very large civilization. Okay, so that was recognized in the year 1924. It was announced that we have discovered a very big civilization, okay, which predates even the, say, Egyptian and contemporary of Sumeria and Mesopotamia. Okay, it was discovered announced in 1924. Okay, and the credit to that goes to John Marshall. He was head of ASI at that time, so he lapped up most of the credit. Okay, but a lot of hard work was done by these two people, Dayaram Sahni and Rakhal Das Banerjee. Okay, so this was a little about Indus Valley civilization. So the next question is consider the following statements with reference to the response of Indians during Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement talks about 1915, 506. 1905 and 6. Okay, we'll see. Ashwini Kumar Dutt's Swadesh Bengal Samiti, led by the Muslim peasants of Barisal in their agitation. Yes, this statement is correct. Ashwini Kumar Dutt was very active. He founded Swadesh Bandhav Samiti, and he was educated. He had a degree in law, and later he joined Barisal as a teacher there, and then he also started practicing law. Okay, so when these people later, he was also invited to the second session of Congress in 1886. Okay, so he was politically active, and so when the Muslim peasants started agitation, he helped them. Okay, next, in 1905, Banaras session of Indian National Congress, Swaraj was declared to be the goal of India's political efforts. This statement is not correct. 4 resolutions were passed in 1906. Like 1906, we know it. That was a time of turmoil. Differences were being created between the moderates and extremists. Okay, so what happened in 1906 was that 4 resolutions were passed. 1906 was Calcutta session. 4 resolutions were Swadeshi, Swaraj, boycott, and national education. Okay, these 4 resolutions were passed in the year 1906. So what happened was, in the next year 1907, the extremists wanted to engage more into this. Okay, they wanted to extend this nationwide. Okay, and have more rigorous campaigns for Swadeshi and boycott. But the moderates were of the idea that we have declared enough and it's not doing anything. Let's start working with the British. Okay, so that caused a wedge. And in the next session, 1907, we had the Surat split. So these 4 resolutions were a major factor for that. A little extra information. Okay. Third statement says Swadesh Gitanjal was a collection of nationalist songs in Tamil composed by Subramanya Bharati. Yes, this statement is also correct. So here we see question statement 1 and 3 are right. So the option is B. Okay. Next, also regarded as the second Buddha. He is famous Buddhist mystic of the 8th century. He is one of the founding fathers of Tibetan Buddhism and is credited with dissemination of Buddhism across the Himalayan belt. Recently, an international conference on his life and legacy was organized by the International Buddhist Confederation at Nalanda. Okay, so it is important because it's part of current affairs. Recent conference was conducted for him. Okay, this particular organization, International Buddhist Confederation, is an umbrella body of around 300 international Buddhist organizations. Okay, they all came together to have this conference. Okay, the option here is Guru Padmasambhava. Okay, other statements are right. He is called the second Buddha because he was the one who took the Buddhist teachings to Himalayan areas. Okay. Okay. So we see the other options. Okay. Ashwagosha is famous for writing Buddhacharita. Okay. Lokeshwara is also called Avalokiteshwara. Avalokiteshwara is literally means the Lord who looks down. It says that he is the Lord of the world. He is looking down on everyone. Okay. So the option here is A. So next question we have, consider the following pairs of architectural marvels, okay, associated with Indian temples. Okay. First is hanging pillars, is Lepakshi temple. Okay. So in this question, Okay, let me tell you in the beginning, all these are correctly matched. The option is this one. Okay, so because these also need some visual aid. Okay, so I have provided that in the next slide. We'll see all the 4 temples, okay, and know something about them. Okay, the first is hanging pillars, Lepakshi temple. This statement is correct. Hanging pillar in a way is that this pillar, you can pass a cloth from the base of this pillar. Okay, this is seen as a pillar, but it is not connected in the ground. Okay, it's like hanging cantilever. It's like hanging from the roof. Okay, that's why it is called hanging pillar. Okay, it was patronized by Vijayanagar Empire. The temple, this temple is called Veerbhadra temple. Okay, it was built as a tribute to Jatayu. Jatayu from the story of Ramayana. Okay, next we have musical steps. These are the musical steps. The temple is the temple is Airavateshwar temple. Okay, this was patronized by Raja Raja Chola, the Chola dynasty. What happens is that there are 10 steps here. Okay, so the 7 steps, if you climb the 7 steps, the sound of the 7 basic tunes will come. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, and then in the last 3 steps you will hear the reverberation of the word Om. Okay, so that's how scientifically made this particular marvel was. Okay, lately what has happened is that people have started throwing things and destroying it, so they have put it in a cage. Okay, it has to be locked to protect itself from us. Okay, quite a shame, I would say, but that's what's happening. Okay, third we have musical pillars. Okay, Vijay Vithala temple. Yes, this is a musical pillars. What happens is if you tap these pillars, a note will come. Every pillar has a different note. Okay, it was also patronized by the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. In the last we have temple of 1000 pillars, Rudreshwar Swami temple. Okay, this is the Rudreshwar Swami temple. It was patronized by the Kakatiya dynasty. Okay, this temple also has stone chariot. Stone chariot. Okay, the third Vijay Vitthal temple also has the stone chariots with musical pillars. Next, Kayakave, Kailasa, and Dosaha are philosophies associated with which of the following personalities in Indian history? Okay, the option here is Lord Basavanna. Okay, Kaya Kave Kailasa is work is God. Work is God or work is worship. Okay, he was a patron of the Bhakti tradition. Okay, he said devotion is more important than following rituals. Okay, if you do what you are doing with earnesty and honesty, okay, that is a kind of prayer. Okay, that was his idea was. And the soha means meditation. Okay, Basavanna is also the founding father of Lingayat tradition. Lingayat tradition. Okay, Lingayats are a subgroup of Hindu or Shaivites. Okay, very popular in the area of Karnataka and around that. Okay, so this is about Lord Basavanna. Okay, then we have other options. Sant Kabir. Okay, he was a 15th century poet. Okay, we have Kabir ke Doe. Okay, and next we have Sri Narayan Guru. He was famous for giving the slogan. Okay, one caste. Okay, one God. Okay. Okay, one caste, one religion, one God for humanity. Okay, he also started consecrated temples wherein everyone was allowed, all communities were allowed, and even one temple in Keval Code where there was a mirror instead of a deity to knock in the point that everyone is God. The God resides in every person. Okay. And Adi Shankaracharya, he needs little introduction. Okay. He was the one who led the revival of Hinduism in 18th, 19th, 18th, 8th, 9th century at the cost of Buddhism. Like he is famous for defeating a lot of Buddhist priests and preachers, okay, and establishing dominance, okay, and getting many converts back to Hindu fold. Okay, he is also credited with establishing the fourth mutt system of Hinduism. Okay, so the answer here is D, Lord Basavanna. Next we have question we have, consider the following statements with reference to Amir Khusrau. So he praised the climate of India in his book Nu Sifir. Yes, he did that. He was a writer. He wrote many books. Apart from this, from his number of books, the important one is Tughlaqnama. Tughlaqnama. Okay, he had served 5 sultans of Khilji and Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, so he wrote a lot of books glorifying them. Okay, so in this Nu Sifir, he was also praising his patron, and there he also had a description about Indian vegetation and climate. Okay, so this is notable. So he is believed to have invented musical instruments sitar and also tabla. Okay, and he is also inventor of khayal and qawwali. Okay, so he was a gifted poet and a musician. Okay, and next he was contemporary of Mughal Emperor Babur. This statement is not correct. He was in 13th century. Okay, and Babur came in 16th century. So this statement is not correct. Statement 1, 2 is correct. So that was about Amir Khusrau. So next question talks about rock edicts. So we'll see what is an edict. Okay, edict are stone tablets. Okay, like this is a tablet wherein administrative orders or what the king wants to go for public consumption and perpetuity is mentioned, is written here. Okay, it is inscribed on a stone tablet and put on very prominent places. Okay, there are 3 types of edicts. We have major edicts, minor edicts, and rock edicts. Pillar edicts. Okay, these are inscribed on rock, so it was always anyway rock edicts. Major edict, minor edict, and pillar edict. In major edict, we have a lot of things are written. Okay, mostly administrative things are written. Okay, like he has to do this. This is the empire. These are the boundaries. If you are under this boundary, you are under the rule of Ashoka. Something like that. Administrative guidelines are written. In minor edicts, okay, smaller things are written, like personal philosophies of Ashoka, like you should not harm others. Violence is not good. These are kind of things that are written in minor edicts. And then we have pillar edicts. Like in pillars, they write things. Okay, like some of the like Ashokan Allahabad pillar. Okay, that's a modern inscription. Okay, started from there. Okay, so most famous are Ashokan rock edicts. In the major edicts, there are 14 things written, 14 points written. So we'll see what is that. Mention of southern South Indian kingdom of Kerala puts. Yes. In the rock edict 2, it talks about the frontiers of the empire. Like after our empire, we have the Kerala Putras and Satya Putras. Okay, Satya Putras also. Satya Putras also. Next we have remorse over Kaling War. It is 13th edict. Okay, it talks about how after Kaling War there was a change of heart of Ashoka. Okay, and he took non-violence. Okay, and left violence forever. Okay, and because after that the historical records also don't show a lot of military conquests. Okay, next we have appeal towards toleration and harmony among sects. So it is edict 12. Okay, it talks about how in the society there should be harmony between sects. Okay, it also talks about how Brahmins were also to be treated very respectfully. Okay, because what happened was that Ashoka had converted to Buddhism. Okay, so the people, the elite Brahmins as ruling the religious class was very afraid. Okay, was very anxious. So to put them at ease, he said, no, in our empire, in our kingdom, we will have religious tolerance for everyone. If you don't, even if you don't agree with my religious ideas and philosophy, there will be no harm to you. Okay, so this is how these edicts work. Edicts were the things the king wanted everyone to know. Okay, that's how these work. And here, 1, 2, 3, all the 3 statements are correct. 3 are correct. Okay, in the major rock edicts, we have 14 statements. Okay, you can Google it. You can just read through it. You don't have to memorize things. You just have an idea like what is written. Okay, there. Next, we have considered the following statement regarding the provincial government of Free India, set up by Subhash Chandra Bose in Singapore. Okay, it declared war of Britain and United States, yes, and also USSR and France. Okay, these were the Allied powers. Okay, the winning side of World War II, remember, is the Allied side. The Allies were US, USSR, UK, and France. Okay, and Subhash Chandra Bose and INA were fighting with the Axis powers. Okay, Axis were Germany, Italy, and Japan. And so we were with these people. Not we, Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, we can say we. Okay, because that was the side INA was the one we were cheering for in that fight. Okay, but things did not turn out the way we liked. Okay, so Axis powers. So it was recognized by the Axis powers. Yes, it was recognized as Germany and Japan were actively helping us. Like Subhash Chandra Bose went to Germany. Okay, from there he formed Indian Legion. Okay, but as Germany was less likely to open a front directly against the British Empire in India, he was suggested you go to Japan. Japanese are moving in the Southeast Asia, so there you can contribute directly. So Subhash Chandra Bose went on a submarine from Germany to say Japan, arrived here, and there he formed INA. Okay, with Raj Behari Bose. Raj Behari Bose had also already formed INA. Okay, with Captain Mohan Singh, Raj Behari Bose. When Subhash Chandra Bose came, he was transferred the control of INA, and they started helping with the Japanese military, and also came with the 5th Regiment to India, Imphal. Okay, that's how the story goes. And later, when he formed the provincial government of Free India, Japan transferred 2 islands, Andaman Nicobar, to this government, where they renamed it Hind and Swaraj Islands. Okay, and after their defeat, the British took over and renamed it again. And recently, a few years ago, the Indian government again renamed into Hind and Swaraj. That was a little about Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay. Next, third statement says Subhash Chandra Bose was the head of the state of this provincial government. Yes, he was the head of the state. He was the prime minister. He was the minister of war. Okay, he wore many hats in that government. Okay, so this was about Subhash Chandra Bose and the INA. After defeat of INA, after the retreat, like what happened was that after surrender of the Japanese. Okay, on 15th August. Okay, after surrender of the Japanese, they withdraw with them. Even the INA forces that were with Japan in the India border in Imphal area, they also withdraw. Okay, and they were captured by the British forces, by the Allied forces, and INA trial started. Okay, INA trial was a question we discussed in the last Anubhav test. like what happened with these people. It also came in our discussion of Lakshmi Sehgal. Okay, she was the wife of Prem Kumar Sehgal. Okay, who was one of the 3 trials, persons put on trial in INA trials. Okay, so this is how this story goes. Okay, so this was a discussion of the history question. Okay, so try to revise it. Okay, go through the detailed solutions, and if you have any issues, you can reach out to us and our team. Okay, I wish you all the best for the upcoming exam, May 25. Hope that day comes, the paper is as good and you are as comfortable as you expect yourself to be. Okay, so best of luck. Thank you.